Hey there, so this is how to inscribe a regular hexagon. So you're going to need a compass for this, and you're going to need a pen or pencil. So the first step is going to draw the circle. So in this case, they kind of already have pre-drawn for us, but I'm just going to map around. That is the exact same angle there. Try my best to get this right. That's close enough. So you're going to want to draw a circle. 0, remember the radius. So this, you gotta remember this radius right here. Pick a point on the circle. In this drawing, it could be any point, but we're gonna use point B. And with the same radius right here, draw an arc that intersects with the circle to the left of B in this case. So we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna take this, we're gonna center it at B, and we're gonna draw that. We're gonna draw a nice arc. So this new point right here, so this new point was created where the arc, this arc here, meets the new circle. And after we do that, we are going to keep on going around and around the circle until we are completely finished. So now that we have 6 points, these are going to be the vertices of the regular hexagon. So what you do is you would draw a straight line from each of these intersections of the arcs to the circle, and you would take a straight edge. Here's my straight edge, and you would go from here to here. You draw. You go from here to here, and you do this with you do this with each of the points. Sorry. And now you have your hexagon. Perfectly made. And that is how to construct a regular, or inscribe rather, a regular polygon. There we go. Hey there, this is how to copy a line segment. So right now our current objective is to copy line AB, right? So the first step is going to be to draw a line segment that is longer than AB. So if you eyeball that, you can tell that's a little longer. Now, the second step is going to be establish point C on the longer line that corresponds with A on AB, right? So you would take a straight edge, likely, right here. Sorry, not likely. I'm just having trouble finding my ruler, so I'm going to use this. And then you'd line that up real nice. And you'd find point C. And so once you establish point C, it corresponds with point A, you're good to go. Time to move on to step 3. Now, step 3 is a little bit trickier. This is how to find point B. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your compass, and you're going to construct an arc centered at A that goes to B. It's going to be the same length as B, and you're just going to draw it a little bit. And with that same length, you're going to take another line centered at C, you're going to draw another arc. And where that arc and the line intersects, that is going to be point D. And now you use that exact same length to find that out. Now you can establish that this point and this point, C and D, are now equivalent to A and B. And so that is how you copy a line segment. Alright, this is how to copy an angle. So our objective up here, as stated, is to copy ABC. Okay. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to draw an angle DE. Now we could use these same letters here, but just for the sake of sanity and keeping things nice and simple, we're going to use different letters. So you can see right here, I've already drawn my line DE. As you can see, it's a ray. And second step, we're going to draw an arc centered at B, which intersects BA and BC at F and G. Okay, so they just labeled these intersection points of where the arc hit these line segments, A and C, these rays, and they labeled them F and G. So what they did is they took a compass, and they went a little bit more than halfway, and they made that arc. And that arc intersection point with that line segment is F and G. Or not line segment, just line is F and G. And you can see down here we haven't done that to DE, but we're going to do that in step 3. Okay? So exactly what we did in step 2, we're going to do step 3, which is what they did. They took that here, right? They drew that arc a little bit more than halfway. So we're going to do that as well. And draw an arc with the same radius in step 2, centered at D. Good enough. And that arc intersection point with this line, this ray, is going to be labeled H. We're labeling that H. Now, down here, we are going to draw an arc of length GF centered at H, and it should intersect the previous arc at J. So what they did here is they drew an arc a little bit more than halfway of this line segment, of this arc rather. They centered it at G, and they made an intersection point. So they kind of, I mean, it's rough, but they kind of did this. And that intersection point right there, it's going to be labeled F. Okay, so they labeled that intersection point F, and we did the same down here. That intersection point with this arc and this arc is going to be labeled J. Now step 5, draw an arc centered at G that goes through F. Remember the hole. So what we're going to have to do is draw an arc centered at G. That's not too hard. What we're going to have to do now is go a little bit, not do too much more than we already did. For example, these two are kind of the same. This step leads to this step, but it's labeled 5 and 4. It's a little bit confusing, but essentially this is a step before this step. So we would take this, if we're going to copy this step right here, we would take this, we would make a little an arc, and we label that J right there, as they did up here. Okay, and next we would make a line segment, or a ray rather, and we would draw it. We would use a straight edge or ruler. In my case, I've got a flash card right here, and what we'd do, we'd line it up real nice, and we'd create the ray. So now that we've drawn DJ, everything's looking good. JDH is now equal to AB, and then C, which is down here, kind of covered by this line right here. So that is how to copy an angle.
To bisect a line segment. Begin by centering your compass at an endpoint and adjusting it to measure larger than halfway. Now, draw 2 arcs above and below your line. Repeat this step on the opposite endpoint, using the same measurements. Mark the point of intersection. Then, using a straight edge, connect these 2 points. With a line. But remember, that is not a bisector unless you add this symbol, which signifies that that is a 90-degree angle, and these marks, which tell us that these two sides are of equal length. To bisect an angle, begin by centering your compass at the vertex of your angle, and draw an arc that intersects between both rays. Mark the points where they intersect. Then proceed to draw 2 more arcs with equal radii that intersect at one point inside of your angle. Mark this point as well. Lastly, using a straight edge, draw a ray that connects your vertex to the point you have just made to finish your angle bisector. To inscribe an equilateral triangle, begin by drawing a full circle with your compass. Mark the center. Then, using a straight edge, draw the diameter. Mark where the diameter intersects with the circle. Label these points. Using the same measurement as before and placing the center of your compass on point C, create an arc that intersects with your circle twice. Mark the points of intersection. Draw a line between these 2 marked points. Finish by connecting points A, D, and E. To show that your triangle is both equilateral and equiangular, place notch marks here to show that the sides are of equal length, and arcs here to show that all 3 angles are equiangular.